Hello, and welcome to the Snow Surfer section. My name is Ahmed Nosif, and I'll be your instructor for this part of the course. We're going to be making an awesome snowboarding game where you do flips and reach the end of the level without hitting your head on the floor. Along the way, we'll learn a bunch of new things, including how to use sprite shapes, scriptable objects, an awesome snowboarding game where you do flips and reach the end of the level without hitting your head on the floor. Along the way, we'll learn a bunch of new things, including how to use sprite shapes, scriptable objects, edge colliders, surface effectors, how to create user interfaces with fonts and buttons, more programming techniques like method parameters and return.
Hello.
Legion 18C säger Back at it are you.
Yes, 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 every day.
Types, and just so much more. Objects, edge colliders, surface effectors, how to create user interfaces with fonts and buttons, more programming techniques like method parameters and return types, and just so much more. I hope you're as excited as I am to get started, so I'll see you in the next video. In this lecture, we're going to be talking about the game design for our upcoming Snow Surfer game. Before we jump into Unity and start working on our game, it's a good idea to first think about how we want our game to work and what mechanics we would need to implement. So I have here a gameplay overview screen, and in it is my player, who's going to be moving from left to right. The player will be snowboarding along this smooth track, which is a curved but bumpy level, allowing the player to constantly jump up and down. The main goal of the game, however, is to reach the finish line, which is going to be at the far right of the level. We're also going to have some particle effects, for example, when the player is surfing along the snow. It's just going to shoot some particles from under the snowboard. And later on, we're going to add some power-ups that the player can pick up in order to gain a temporary boost of some kind. All of these make up the important moving parts of our game. Now that we have a good idea of what our game is going to look like, which mechanics do we need to create for all of this to work? First off, we need the player to be able to move along the track. We're also going to need the player to be able to rotate forwards and backwards in order to do some front flips and back flips. I'll also give the player the ability to speed up, so whenever you hold down a button, you'll go a bit faster. Like I mentioned before, we're also going to have some particle effects that play when the player is touching the floor. We also want a crash detection system, so whenever the player bonks their head on the floor, it's game over and the level restarts. On the other hand, if you reach the finish line, then you win the game, but to keep things simple, we're also going to make it restart the level as soon as you touch it. Some other game mechanics that we're going to need is some sort of scoring system to gain some score whenever you do a sick flip in the air, power-ups that the player can pick up in order to gain some kind of temporary bonus, and the last thing that we're going to implement is a user interface, allowing the player to choose which character they'd like to play as. In terms of the actual design of our game, what do we want the player experience to look like? For me, I'm aiming for a player experience to be smooth and exciting. The game will have a smooth flow to it, constantly going up and down these bumpy hills, and it's going to be very exciting because the player is always going to be flipping through the air to get a good score. In terms of the core mechanic of the game, it's quite simple. Just don't crash and do some flips. And the game loop, as we've said before, is simply to gain as much score as possible and then reach the finish line in order to win. So now you should hopefully have a good idea of how the game is going to work and what we're going to be achieving this section. But before you go, here's a very quick challenge for you. I'd like you to just start working your creativity by simply giving the player character a name. So I'm going to name my player character Rex the T-Rex, but you can name yours whatever you'd like. If you've come up with a name that's more creative than mine, which is almost certain, I'd love to see what you've thought of in the Q&A section below. Once you're done with that little exercise, I'll see you in the next lecture where we're going to get started on creating Snow Surfer. See ya then! In this lecture, we're going to
I'll name the T-Rex Blob because that's what you called my T-Rex from earlier. Meanie.
to be talking about the game design for our upcoming. In this lecture, we're going to be setting up our project and using a sprite shape in order to create our level. Let's jump right into it. Alright, let's start by first setting up our project. So open up Unity Hub if you haven't already, then click on New Project. Since this is a 2D game, I'm going to select Universal 2D, and I'll name my project Snow Surfer. You can also choose which location the project is going to be. I think the default one is fine for me. Then I'm going to click on Create Project. So while Unity is creating this project, now's a good time to go to the Resources tab and grab the sprites that we're going to use in this section. You're going to get a zip file like this. Simply right-click it, click on Extract All, and then click on Extract. And inside of this folder is all of the sprites that we're going to use in this game. Of course, feel free to create your own sprites if you'd like. Once Unity has finally finished loading, I'm just going to start by creating a new folder. So right-click anywhere in my assets, create folder, and I'm simply going to call this sprites. Open up your sprites folder, and then open up your extracted Snow Surfer sprites. So I'm simply going to grab all of these and drag and drop them into Unity. And now we have all of our sprites imported into Unity and ready to use.
Kolera Kaput säger hello och salt.
Hellos.
Kolera Kaput säger did you rest assured or be assured to rest?
What? All things? I don't know.
Kolera Kaput säger asserd as asin ditsnats. Kolera Kaput säger sorry.
You're good.
I'm also going to grab the Game tab and move it all the way over to the right, simply because I like seeing the game while I'm editing it in the Scene tab. By the way, over at the Game tab, if you have it set to Free Aspect, you want to click on this menu and set it to 16:9, because that's the standard of any desktop game. That's also going to stop the aspect ratio from changing every time you resize the Game tab. Now that I have my project all set up, it's time to start adding things to my scene. So I'm going to start by adding something called a sprite shape. I'll right-click anywhere in my hierarchy, go to 2D Object, Sprite Shape, and then create a new closed shape. The difference between a closed shape and an open shape is that the closed shape is closed on all sides, whereas an open shape is intended more for one-sided walls and floors. While I'm creating this, I'm also going to rename this to Level Sprite Shape. And you might be wondering, what exactly is a sprite shape? It looks sort of like a white platform that you can step on. However, what makes this sprite shape so powerful is that we can control exactly how we want this shape to look. And let me show you what I mean by this. Over in the inspector, there's a button called Edit Spline. Simply click on it, and you can see that a bunch of different dots have appeared. These dots represent all of the different points that make up this specific shape. So I can click on one of these to select the point and then drag it in order to move it somewhere else. And you can see that the shape has instantly updated. We can use these points to create any sort of shape that we want. So I can grab the top left point and move it like this, the bottom left point and move it like that, and the bottom right point, if I move the camera just a little bit, I can grab it and move it all the way over here. We can also add as many points as we'd like. So if I click on any side that doesn't have a point, like here for example, is going to create a new point for us, and I can move it down like this. If I don't like the point that I've added, for example, I can simply hit delete on the keyboard, and that's going to delete the point that I had selected. So we can sort of see what makes this spread shape so special. We can create our entire level using this one object. However, we're not going to create the level just yet, so I'm going to click on Edit Spline again in order to exit this mode, and let's first change the visuals of our sprite shape and how it looks. If I click on Profile here, there's something called the Sprite Shape Profile, and this Sprite Shape Profile is actually what decides how our sprite shape is going to look. You can see that clicking it moved us into this Packages folder and a bunch of folders inside of it, and that's because this is the default Sprite Shape Profile that's used every time you create a new sprite shape. We don't want to change this default Sprite Shape Profile so we don't mess up all of our future sprite shapes. So instead, I'm going to go back to my Sprites folder, and I'll right-click in my assets, create 2D, and then another sprite shape profile. And I'm going to call it Snow Sprite Shape Profile. And assets, create 2D, and then another sprite shape profile. And I'm going to call it Snow Sprite Shape Profile. And I'm going to replace the old sprite shape with the new Snow Sprite Shape. And now that we have our own sprite shape profile, I'm going to select the sprite shape profile in my assets. And from here, we have a bunch of different options to decide how we want the sprite shape to look. There are a lot of different options, and we aren't going to use most of them. There are options like having specific angles look different, or having top left corners look different from bottom right corners, for example. However, we want to do something a bit simpler. I have this floor tile over here, and I want this floor tile to cover all the outside of the sprite shape. We can do this by grabbing our floor tile and putting it in the first thing under Sprites in the inspector. And you can see it added our floor tile texture as an outline for our sprite shape. Another thing that we need to change is the color inside of the sprite shape itself. So currently it's still white, and in order to fix this, we have something called the floor tile fill. I'm just going to grab this image and put it over in the fill texture. And that's going to keep the insides the same cool blue that we use on the outline. Hey everyone, just a quick note from the future. You might see this warning saying fill texture must have wrap mode set to repeat. Please re-import. What this actually says is that the texture that we're using for our fill is currently not set to repeat, meaning that it's being stretched all across our sprite shape. And this might cause issues with the fill that we're using. Now, since I'm using a flat color as my fill, this isn't going to cause any issues at all, and you can ignore the warning. But let me show you what the problem is and how to fix it. So to demonstrate, I have these diagonal stripes that I want to use as my fill texture, and you can see the texture is all messed up and it doesn't actually look like diagonal lines. The fix for this is pretty simple. Simply select the texture that you want to use, and in the wrap mode, rather than set it to clamp, set it to repeat. That's going to repeat the texture all across the fill rather than being stretched from one side to the other. After you've set it to repeat, simply click on Apply in the inspector, and it's going to apply this wrap mode and make sure that it's being repeated properly. I'm going to do the same for my floor tile fill, so I'll set the wrap mode to repeat, apply this, go back to my spread shape profile mode, and make sure that it's being repeated properly. I'm going to do the same for my floor tile fill, so I'll set the wrap mode to repeat, apply this, go back to my spread shape profile, and now I'll set the blue tile back as the texture fill, and you can see that I'm not getting any warnings anymore. Anyway, let's get back to the lecture. Alright, perfect. Now my sprite shape looks a lot nicer. The sprites that we use in this game are a bit big compared to my camera, so I'm going to grab my main camera, go over to projection, and I'll set the size to 10 for now. Alright, perfect. My camera, so I'm going to grab my main camera, go over to projection, and I'll set the size to 10 for now. Alright, perfect. So now I'm going to select the level spread shape again, and then I'm going to go over to the right and click on Edit Spline. Now, something that I showed you before is that you can create and delete points, but what I didn't tell you is that when you select a point, you'll see these two little handles. If you've ever used a vector editing program like Inkscape or Adobe Illustrator, you'll instantly be familiar with these. These control the curves of our shape. So if I grab the right side, for example, and then rotate it downwards like this, we completely change the curves going in and out of this specific point. So this can be good if you want, for example, to create a jump like this. I'm going to have it curved downwards like this. and the player can sort of jump up in the air as soon as they reach this point. Every single point in the shape has these handles, and the more you stretch it outwards, the bigger the curve is going to be. So for example, if I grab this one and stretch it all the way to the right, you can see that the curve is getting bigger towards the right. Now I'm going to grab this middle point to keep this example going, and there are actually it all the way to the right, you can see that the curve is getting bigger towards the right. Now I'm going to grab this middle point to keep this example going, and there are actually 3 different modes in order to control the curves, called tangent modes, and you can see it at this window at the bottom right here. The default mode is called continuous, and it makes sure that both sides of the curve are completely symmetrical. So you can see if I drag one side, the other side is always going to be in the opposite direction, and that makes sure that the curve is always smooth. On the other hand, we have the first mode called linear, and it makes it more like a straight line, so it eliminates the curves completely. It's not very useful, so let's move on to the last mode, which is called broken. It lets you control the points independently of one another. So I can move one of these handles, and the other one is not going to be affected. This lets you do specific changes to one side of the curve, but if you overdo it, it's going to make our sprite shape outline look a bit weird. You can move one of these handles, and it's not very useful, so let's move on to the last mode, which is called broken. It lets you control the points independently of one another. So I can move one of these handles, and the other one is not going to be affected. This lets you do specific changes to one side of the curve, but if you overdo it, it's going to make our sprite shape outline look a bit weird. I'm mostly just telling you this so you can understand what all of these different buttons do, but I'm actually going to make my level using only continuous mode, because that makes the smoothest curves, which is important for this type of game. Alright, now that we understand how sprite shapes work, I'm going to zoom all the way out. I'll grab the top left point and move it all the way over there. I'll grab the top right point and move it all the way over here. And I'm going to grab these bottom points and move them under the other corners. Now I'm going to start creating my level. So I'm going to add a few points, a point like this for example, and I'm going to make a few curves so that the player can go over them. So I'm going to make another point here, and I'm going to curve it downwards to create a small hill. And perhaps another curve over there, and maybe move this up a little bit. But rather than watch me create my own level, now is the time for your challenge. I'd like you to create a simple level for your game. Make sure that you don't spend too much time on it, we just want something that we can use to test our game. And remember, you can always change this in the future. So go ahead and pause the video and start creating your level, and I'll see you in just a bit. Alright, welcome back. I'm just going to start making my level, so I'll speed this up a bit. I'm essentially just adding some hills, some bumps, and some jumps to make sure that the player is always moving up and down for a little bit of excitement. And I think this is a good starting point for my level. So one thing that I forgot to mention, and something that you should be careful of, is that you don't want to twist the shape into itself. So you don't want to twist it like this, because this can cause all sorts of issues, and Unity is going to complain that you're overlapping the shape and causing all sort of weird behavior. So make sure that you're not just intersecting the sprite shape into itself. But that's going to be it for this lecture. So in this lecture, we set up our project and we learned what sprite shapes are and how we can use it to create our level. Excellent work with this video, and I'll see you in the next lecture. In this lecture, we're going to add an edge collider on our sprite shape and roll a ball along the snow. Let's jump right into it. I'm just going to start this lecture by moving the start of my level inside the bounds of my camera. So I'll click on my level sprite shape, press W on the keyboard to select the move tool, and then I'm simply going to move it over here, and you can kind of see it inside my game view. One other thing that I want to do is go at the top of my scene view. There's a button with a grid icon and a Y in it. I'm going to click this in order to disable the scene grid inside of Unity. Now, this is personal preference, you can keep it on if you'd like, but I personally find that the grid makes it a little bit hard to see what's going on, so I'm going to keep this off for the rest of the course. Alright, with those out of the way, let's get into the heart of this lecture. I want to create a rolling ball that falls down and rolls along this hill. However, if I were to create a ball right now and make it fall like this, it's going to fall through the sprite shape because it doesn't have any sort of collision on it. So in order to add some collision, I'm going to select the level sprite shape, go down in the inspector, click on Add Component, and I'm going to add something called the Edge Collider 2D. And what this is going to do is that it's going to add a collider all around my sprite shape. It's a bit hard to see, but there's actually supposed to be a green outline over here. So in order to make this a little bit easier to see, I'm going to go to the inspector and increase edge radius. This pushes the collider further from the floor, but now you can see how it has a collider all around it. And at any time, if I edit my sprite shape, so I edit the spline, and move the shape around like this, you can see that the edge collider is automatically getting updated, and it's still going to be around the sprite shape, which is fantastic. Now that my sprite shape has a collider all around it, all I need to do is create a ball that falls down and rolls along this collider. And surprise, that's going to be your challenge. I'd like you to create a ball that rolls down the hill. You should have an idea of how to create a physics object in Unity from the last section, so go ahead and pause the video to take on this challenge, and I'll see you in just a bit.
Rewins ett säger, what's the to do today?
I'm just gonna do some of the new project. So this is type part 204 of basically what I was working on earlier, but just a new mini project thing. I was teaching some other cool things in Unity. I'm doing some of that and chill. And how far am I along? I think I'm halfway through. Yeah, and then if I have the energy for it, then yeah, a little bit of Khan Academy math, like maybe like 4 of them, and then some Danish again. You know, the classic, my classic order, I guess. He was like, "Oh, don't spend too long creating this level," but I spent a decent bit of time because I was playing with the shape. So yeah.
Rewins ett säger, nice nice.
Yes, and so far I'm lucky because I haven't had any big issues with like things not working really today, which usually I feel like it happens every single day I do something in Unity. There's something that's like, oh, this isn't working. Why is it not working? Why did this break? But nothing really big has happened, so that's nice. I don't want to jinx it, but ooh, what was the physics thing called? I forgot its name. I don't remember. It's not the collider. Is it the collider? I swear there was something else. I'm just like trying to remember what it is. It's not the collider. There's something else. Something that has gravity on it. Alright, what was its name? Oh, rigid body, yeah. That's fun. And then I think I'm gonna change the color because it's hard to see it. No, 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 I'm gonna keep it. No, and then it looks like a snowball, and that's cute.
Rewinset säger, any cool scripting yet?
Look at it go! Yeah. Okay, cool. No, I haven't touched a single script yet. It's just been editor stuff again. But that's okay, because I'm learning a lot about the editor. But I do need to touch some C# or I can't finish this daily. So I'm kind of hoping that there'll be C# here, and if not, then I mean, there's still like 3 more videos to watch, so there has to be some C# in one of these. It has to be. And if there's not, I'm going to feel very scammed.
All right, excellent job with that challenge. If you had any issues creating a rolling ball, then no worries, let's do it together. I'm going to right click anywhere in my hierarchy, go to 2D object, and there are actually 2 different ways you can do this. The first way, and the way that most of you probably did it, is by creating a new circle sprite, and then add a rigid body 2D in order to add some physics to it.
Yeah, he got swapped out. Like, he's on the bench now, for some reason.
And then adding a circle collider 2D. And this is a perfectly good way of doing things, but there's actually a shorter way to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to delete this circle, right click anywhere in my hierarchy again, and rather than creating a circle sprite, you can go to physics and create something called a dynamic sprite. And this is immediately going to create a circle for us that already has a collider and rigid body. So that's just a nice shortcut
Oh, no, there's a shortcut for that.
to
Okay.
create a physics body quickly. The important thing is to make sure that the body type is dynamic, and that the gravity scale is higher than 0 so that the ball falls down. With that done, I'm just going to name this ball in my hierarchy, and then I'm going to move it is dynamic, and that the gravity scale is higher than 0 so that the ball falls.
Yeah, let me look in the menu. Like, what was that? Kind of cool, I guess. 2D object, sprites, not sprites, physics. Oh, dynamic sprite.
Down. With that done, I'm just going to name this ball in my hierarchy, and then I'm going to move it all the way to the start of my level. Now let's run the game. And you can see that the ball is falling down and sliding nicely along the floor. It doesn't look like it's actually touching the floor, and that's because I increased the edge radius. But if I get that back down to 0, then it should be sliding nicely along the snow. One last thing I wanted to mention is that if you want to make the snow texture that's around the sprite shape a little bit thicker or thinner, then you'll have to zoom all the way out, and then select the sprite shape, click on Edit Spline, and then drag to select all of these different points along your sprite shape. With all of these different points selected, you can raise the height under tangent modes in order to make the texture thicker. Or you can reduce it in order to make the snow a little bit thinner. I'm going to keep the height at 1 because it already looks nice on this texture, but if you're using a different texture that's a little bit too big or a little bit too small, then it might be worth adjusting the height. That's going to be it for this lecture. We learned how, but if you're using a different texture that's a little bit too big or a little bit too small, then it might be worth adjusting the height. That's going to be it for this lecture. We learned how to use an edge collider and create a ball that rolls down on our sprite shape. Excellent work this lecture, and I'll see you in the next video. In this lecture, we're going to make our camera follow the rolling ball by using something called Cinemachine. Let's jump right into it. Before we jump into Unity and start using Cinemachine, we first need to learn what exactly is Cinemachine and why should we use it. Well, Cinemachine is a very powerful tool inside of Unity that lets us easily create different behaviors for our cameras. So, for example, we could use Cinemachine to make the camera follow the player, or zoom in when something dramatic happens. It also lets us easily manage multiple different cameras in one scene. Currently in our scene we have our main camera, which isn't really doing anything exciting, it's just staying still at one part of the world. So in order to tell our main camera what it should be doing, there's something called the Cinemachine brain that's going to tell the main camera how it should work. So our Cinemachine brain is going to be controlling our main camera, telling it, for example, look over here, look over there, zoom in here, and so on. And in order for us to tell the Cinemachine brain what it's going to do, we can use something called Cinemachine cameras. Some people call these virtual cameras because that's the old name for it. So whenever someone says virtual camera, they usually mean Cinemachine camera and vice versa. Now, Cinemachine cameras aren't actually different cameras, they're more like different behaviors that we want our main camera to follow. So, for example, Cinemachine camera 1 would follow vice versa. Now, Cinemachine cameras aren't actually different cameras, they're more like different behaviors that we want our main camera to follow. So, for example, Cinemachine camera 1 would follow the player, Cinemachine camera 2 would zoom in when something exciting happens, and the third one would pan around in a cutscene or something. These Cinemachine cameras are going to connect to our Cinemachine brain and tell the brain which virtual camera we want to use right now. As an example, we can tell it to use Cinemachine camera 1 by default, then switch to camera 2 when we get a power-up. However, in this section we're just going to use one Cinemachine camera, so we don't need to get too in-depth on how it works. Just know that Cinemachine is super duper powerful, and it can make controlling your camera very easy. Back in Unity, first things first, let's install Cinemachine so we can use it in our project. Cinemachine is its own separate optional package in Unity, so we need to go up to Window, Package Management, and then Package Manager. This is going to open all of the packages in your project, which are sort of like add-ons in Unity. And by default, you can view all of the packages in your own project. But what we want to do is download a new package. In order to do that, go over to the left and click on Unity Registry. And then scroll all the way down to the package that we want to install. I'm going to scroll down to Cinemachine, and then hit Install. Now, depending on your version of Unity, Cinemachine might already be included in your project by default. So if it's saying remove instead of install, then you already have Cinemachine and don't need to do anything else. After installation, you can tell that it's installed with this check mark next to its name. Installing it will add it into our packages folder automatically, so you can find Cinemachine over here, and now we can use it in our project. Now when we right-click in our hierarchy, installing it will add it into our packages folder automatically, so you can find Cinemachine over here, and now we can use it in our project. Now when we right-click in our hierarchy, we can find Cinemachine at the bottom here. What we want to add is a new Cinemachine camera. And as soon as we add the Cinemachine camera to our scene, you can see that there's an icon next to our main camera. If you click on main camera and scroll down in the inspector, you can see that it added something called the Cinemachine brain. Inside it are a bunch of options related to Cinemachine, but we don't need to mess around with them for now. Now, since our camera is at some random position in the world, I'm going to right-click on Transform and then click on Reset. Now, after resetting our position to 0, 0, 0, we can't see anything in our game screen, and this is a very common issue that people run into. So let me very quickly show you how to fix this before we move on. If you click on 2D in the scene view, it's going to switch to our 3D view. And in order for our camera to see everything in our game, it needs to be moved back a little bit. Now, if I move backwards like this and grab my camera's Z-axis and move it backwards a little bit, it can now see everything in my scene because it's looking forward. If you ever run into a position where the camera can't see anything, make sure to check its Z-axis. Anyway, let's go back to 2D view. And over in my inspector, you can see we have a Cinemachine camera component. This is what we talked about in our slides, and the main camera is currently following the rules that we set inside of our Cinemachine camera. I'm just going to go over here and set the lens size back to 10. We now want our Cinemachine camera to follow our rolling ball. And doing this is actually very easy. We just need to add a tracking target, telling this camera which thing we want it to track. Since I want it to track my ball, I'm going to grab my ball off my hierarchy and then put it as my tracking target.
Centralikan säger, alright you're live.
Hellos.
Rewinset säger, at Centralikan no pre-recorded. Centralikan säger, I got the notification but was busy and forgot.
Oh no, you're good.
Centralikan säger, we are true. Centralikan säger, well the pre-recorded stream is live.
Also, I haven't touched any code yet, because, yeah, there hasn't been any yet. That's okay.
Rewinset säger, coding is for nerds anyways.
It is. Yeah, exactly. Remember, you know, what the hell's a bool and what the hell's a variable? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a nerd.
And now that we have a tracking target, we need to tell it which part we actually want to follow. In this case, I don't want the camera to follow my ball's rotation because the camera is just going to keep spinning. So in order to make it only track the position of this ball, we can go down to position control in the inspector and then set it to follow. This is going to add another component at the bottom here called Cinemachine Follow. And you can see that my camera has instantly snapped into the ball.
If you ever become a Terry Davis level programmer, I'm reassigning your name from Salty to Nerd.
Wow. Okay, I need to make sure to never become Terry Davis level, or my name's gonna suck.
Rewinset säger, at Centralikan how is your holy see?
Oh my god, holy see.
Centralikan säger, I don't have the motivation to learn holy see at the moment. Centralikan säger, fucking add. Centralikan säger,
Let's run the game and see how this works. You can see my camera is now nicely following the ball, and nicely smoothing in and out in order to track its position. If we go down to follow offset, we can offset the camera by any specific point, so I can move it over to the right, move it over to the left,
at Centralikan get wrecked nerd.
Maybe even move it up or down relative to the position of the ball. So you can mess around with all sorts of options over here if you'd like. And that brings us to your challenge. If you haven't been following along already, here are the steps you need to follow. First, install the Cinemachine package if it's not already included in your project. Then add a Cinemachine camera to your scene. Make the Cinemachine camera follow the ball. And most importantly, I wanted to make the camera look forwards in order to see more of the level. So rather than the ball being in the center, I want the camera to move a little bit to the right. Of course, feel free to play around with Cinemachine and mess around with the other settings to make it look exactly as you'd like. So go ahead and pause the game in order to take on this challenge, and I'll see you in just a bit.
Wait, what was that? What was that? Mnemonic. It was like XYZ RGB. Yes, that's what it was. So X. Haha.
All right, excellent job with that challenge. I'm going to go ahead and select my Cinemachine camera and move the
Centralikan
follow
säger,
offset more
you
to the
should
right.
incorporate
So I'll set the
different
x-axis to, let's say,
guide
10.
into your design.
That's going to make the camera see more towards the right, which is exactly what I wanted.
You're funny. Like you're like, I fixed that, and you fixed it. Lol.
If you like messing around with options, there's also something called the position damping. Increasing it will make the camera a bit slower and smoother, while decreasing it will make it a bit faster and more snappy. I think it's fine by default, so let's go ahead and click on play, and you can see that my ball is nicely rolling down the hill using our Cinemachine camera. Perfect. So that's going to be it for this lecture. We learned what Cinemachine is and how to use it in order to make it follow the ball. Nice work this video, and I'll see you in the next lecture.
Now I'm gonna scrub through this video. Oh my god, there's no code in this section either. Oof. No. Okay, what about this? Does this not have code in it either? Oh, this one doesn't either. Why is it doing it again? It's just like, oh my god, there's like, I have to go 3 more ahead to get to
We need to watch the ball roll them it. Centralikan säger, och speaking of default sucks.
I'm tempted to do a switch now onto just Visual Studio and then just solve a problem.
Centralikan säger, default
It's
scroll
tempting.
amount in
Because like also like I'm worried if I don't do anything that's like difficult with code or difficult for me, I'm worried my my C# will atrophy.
Centralikan
it's probably
säger,
already
1 pixel per mouse
atrophying.
wheel tick.
But if I do that, it is gonna take up a bunch of extra time, and then honestly, I might just cut out the math and Danish for today for the podcast, and then just do I don't know, extra more on the code community side of things. I think work.
Rewins ett säger, at Centralikan have you tried me and simulator?
You know what? I'm gonna go for it. I'm probably gonna regret it.
Centralikan säger, I haven't run it yet. I gotta do that when I figure out how not to be perpetually tired.
Oh my god, what just happened? Oh my, sorry. Screen stopped responding for a moment.
Centralikan säger, it's honestly so weird now seeing all Langtons and implementation that uses branching for directions.
Oh my god, it's
Centralikan
doing it
säger,
again!
Like forget that that's the normal way.
Something's wrong with the display of my screen right now. I might have to like restart my computer. Let me just close this. What's happening? It's not doing that anymore. I think that has to do with Visual Studio.
Rewinds ett säger, what is it doing?
It's hard to just explain it, but it's basically making my whole screen go black and then taking the window I'm working in and then making it really tiny in the left-hand corner and then not letting me interact with it, and then it expands again. It's really weird. I've never even seen that behavior before. Like, it's weird. Wait, what was I gonna... Alright, I want to use the same naming convention as my last one. What was my naming convention? 100 doors, Rosetta code. Okay.
Centralikan säger, Windows SM.
So it'll be called... Also, I need to start labeling my things with the date inside the... Oh, it has to stay here. Anyway, 100 prisoners, Rosetta code.
Rewinds ett säger, at Centralikan Jappos nowadays I only use Windows on my gaming P, the rest Fedora.
Is that a Linux distribution or something?
Rewinds ett säger, yes.
Ah, you're a real computer person, yep. The Linux. Oh.
Centralikan säger, I have Windows on my laptop because I didn't want to install Linux as the host since I'm not comfortable in it yet. Centralikan säger, but I do have a flash drive.
Oh, that's cool.
Centralikan säger, I could install Linux on the flash.
Okay, so it's copy all this, I guess. Oh my god, why is it still creating a project? Oh, it's not responding. Nice. That's awesome.
Rewinds ett säger, it can take some time but modern Linux distros you don't really have to touch the terminal as much or sometimes at all.
That's cool.
Centralikan säger, I have a Linux Mint VM2 that I've been occasionally messing around with.
Visual Studio is not doing things I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was create a simple console app, and it's not working. Instead, it's just frozen and not responding. And the creating project thing is loading. Like, it won't stop.
Centralikan säger, yeah but not really though right since I do development.
Oh, I think I just have to give up on creating the project. It's just cancel. Oh my. Okay, it's not responding. It's not responding at all.
Säger, at Centralikan
program.
in a dev case you probably gonna want to use a terminal.
I'll try again. Wait, this file might already exist because maybe it did create it, even though the bit thing basically froze. I have to see. Let's see repos. No, source. Oh, it's in here. Okay.
Centralikan säger, this 100 prisoners problem-inspired a solution he came up with for in-place rectangular image 90 grader rotation.
Okay, can I open this with Visual Studio? Oh. No, this is 100 doors. I just opened the wrong thing. This one. Visual Studio. Let's see if this works.
Rewins et säger, there is a solution for this in AutoHotkey, he didn't even know it was Turing complete.
I think this is like bugged out because it doesn't even show anything. Like, I think I just need to delete this in my repos and then try making the project again. Like, oh, it doesn't even show that window. Oh. What's this one? Like, look, it's just blank.
Rewins et säger, wait. Rewins et säger, don't panic. Rewins et säger, Solution Explorer. Rewins et säger, on the right.
My Solution Explorer isn't there. Oh, wait, no, I just have to click on it. Oh, there we go.
Rewins et säger,
Yes. Oh,
on
I
the
see. You're
bottom.
going to have me try to open it like this. Aren't you? And to click on program.cs. Hey, you're right. There you go. There it is. Thank you. Okay, so maybe I should put
Rewins et säger, C# guys VTF-isan, internal, class.
in the namespace. Is where I'll put the instructions, I guess. Go back here.
Centralikan säger, internal is visible to this assembly, module or whatever only.
Boom. So jump into the game and define the optimal strategy first. Open. Wait, I think things pasted out of order actually. Oh no, they didn't. Never mind. Then I need to, but I just forgot to copy this part too. copied a little messy. I mean, I had to like format it a little bit nicer.
Centralikan säger, so if you add the assembly as a reference, you don't have internal members exposed to you.
I'm just gonna label them 1, 2, 3.
Rewinds ett säger,
Okay.
interesting.
Like I feel like it could be fun. I know I could like do it with like arrays and stuff or something, and then it'd probably be more efficient to do it like that. But I feel like it'd be fun to use an excessive amount of like classes and objects or something if I can. To try to like work on using the syntax for like calling objects and accessing fields and all that stuff. So maybe that would be fun to do. Remind myself what's this? We might cover how to pick drawers. Yep. I have to think about this for a second. 1 to 100s. Also, I kind of feel like maybe I should make a new class too and not do this in the program class. Like maybe. Okay, like this. No, I think array will be fine. So I could have like
Centralikan säger, the fuck.
is. Trying to remember how to make arrays. I should do something like this. This might be wrong. Oh wait, that something like that.
Centralikan säger, that's not syntactically valid class name.
This looks like it's valid. It's not yelling at me.
Centralikan
Wait, how do
säger,
I store it?
100 prisoners.
How do I do this?
Centralikan säger, class names can't start with numbers.
Oh, that's why it's highlighted like this. Okay.
Centralikan säger, well anything's names can't start with number.
Like, it's been so long. Maybe I should actually have I could have 100 doors open for reference. But I kind of forgot the syntax here of like, I want to make it. I know what I want to do though. I want an array of ints. I want 100 ints, and I want to put it. I want to label it as prisoners. Like that's the name I want to give it. But I'm not.
Rewinds
I don't
ett
quite
säger,
remember the syntax to
Goods
do
int
this.
name, 100.
Oh, I knew my teacher put the trophy. Int name 100. Oh, Oh wait, really? Oh damn. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but that is. Oh, no wonder I was confused because this is a little bit different than normally you like type
Centralikan
and then you're like
säger you need a int
tells
field.
that what is
Maybe assign new
MLKL
int
what
100 to it
normally
or
it's like
do that
type
in
and
a
then name and
constructor.
then you're like equals and then you're like this thing so it's like weird arrays are kind of weird.
Centralikan säger probably do that in a constructor if you want to fill it with random shuffled numbers.
I don't need this to be random, not the prisoners. The prisoners will always be 100 prisoners and they're always going to take their turn in order every single
Rewinds
time.
ett säger does C
Those don't need
Sharp
to be
have a
shuffled.
list type built in?
The only
Borde
thing that
that
needs to be
be
shuffled
bättre?
is the number of the drawers and the numbers inside of the. No, this doesn't need to be shuffled either. The cards inside the drawers need to be shuffled, and that's it. So I don't think I have to worry about that. I'm just putting it in the class. Probably. Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Centralikan säger you don't need list if your collection doesn't change size.
What? I didn't make a list. Oh, you're talking to rewinds. Oh, sorry. Arrays are like more efficient than
X114
lists if it
säger
doesn't
so that
change.
array operations would start with 100 sekunder.
100 zeros. Int. I think this is a little off actually. There. Yours. 100s. I don't think these change either. Cards, then I guess we'll need a constructor.
Centralikan säger does this array syntax work in C# either?
Or that would be if I made it an object. But I'm gonna do, by the way, I have a plan because I'm not just gonna solve this. I already agreed. I made like an agreement with Legion that I would solve this by using a specific shuffle algorithm, and I would keep it with an array or something. Actually, no, yeah, I'm gonna do it like that, and I'll show you this. Okay, I already forgot its name. That's
Rewinds
okay.
ett säger int numbers är lika med new int 5
Wait, let me
och
go find
look
it
it up.
again.
Don't
But
listen to me
I'm also
anymore. You
gonna be
have no
doing
idea
this
in C# law.
because it's good
Centralikan
practice,
säger
you know.
usually it's public int prisoners är lika med new int 100.
See, what's its name? It's oh my god, let's take this one and find it.
Centralikan säger I think the syntax salt wrote
Scrolling,
works in C
scrolling.
but either if it works in C#.
Where the hell is that? Where's that link that I want? What?
Rewinds ett säger at Centralikan I don't think it does after double checking lol.
Oh, there it is. What kind of link is this? Fisher Gates. This one. I'm doing this particular shuffle to shuffle my array.
Centralikan säger, ruins you gotta get rid of your directional branch in your lant, it's too slow.
Just to remind myself, I might just grab it and then what is it?
Centralikan säger, can't be having that.
So elements in the front of the array destroy the remaining elements.
Ruins ett säger, okok I think of new way.
Just as like a little reminder for me. I need to make a method just for this shuffle too. I think something like that. So maybe and then what would it take though? It would take the array, right, of 100 things. Arrays have a property of length, right? You can do that. Can you do that with arrays? Okay, I can't spell either.
Centralikan säger,
Do they?
ruins the Google says no.
I know lists do.
Centralikan
Or
säger,
count or
also.
something, or
Centralikan
how can I
säger,
access
this
this?
is a class.
Yeah, it is a class. That's true. Can I? It doesn't. No, it's public, right? Can I still access it? Like,
Ruins ett säger,
oh, it's
sadly
not
gotta
static.
fix the int arrays I gave you horrible info. Ruins ett
Should I
säger,
make this? I'm
in
trying
a
to think. Should I
shame.
make this static?
Centralikan säger, insättningstecken.
Maybe it makes more sense with static. I don't know, or maybe not. Okay, maybe I'll make another class then.
Exombrax
I'm not
14
sure.
säger, no.
I'm not really good with
Centralikan
this idea
säger,
of how to
so.
structure things yet. Maybe I should just like try things.
Centralikan säger, why is it not giving you any red squigglies?
I'm just gonna call this right now.
Centralikan säger, does versus not give red squigglies?
There. Maybe that makes sense. Here, let me just pretend like I made this here for a second, just so I can see what's inside. Like what I can do with it. Can I? Well, I still can't. This isn't a, God. Shouldn't I be able to do stuff with
Ruins
it?
ett
If it's like...
säger, true it why it's not working. It happened to her before.
Oh, wait, now it's letting me do stuff.
Centralikan säger,
Compared
salty the
to...
array syntax is wrong.
I can't... Oh, the array thing is... Ah, rewind suggested it, but it's not yelling at me for it, so I thought it'd be fine. I knew something was probably up with this, because this looks really weird in C#.
Centralikan säger, int name är lika med new int size.
Oh yeah, you do it like that, okay. Why?
Centralikan säger, yeah that's the
C way of
making
making arrays.
arrays.
Lol. But then
Ruins
why?
ett säger, yeah you gave horrible info.
C way. Why? But why is the compiler or whatever? Why is it not yelling at me? Why did it actually let me type this? And it's like,
Centralikan
yeah,
säger,
that's cool.
why you don't have red squigglies.
Like that's what I'm wondering.
Centralikan säger, You don't have any red squiggles.
Yeah! I
Centrally
don't have
can
any way.
säger, the fuck word
Wait,
did
let
you
me
just type?
type some random. Oh my god, my red squigglies are broken again. That's why. It's doing the thing where it's like all broken. How did I fix this last time with Unity? This isn't even Unity this time. This is freaking. Where are my red squigglies? Why is my IntelliSense like? Why can't it ever work?
Rewins et säger, didn't we just relaunch I can't remember?
No, no, we fixed it. We relaunched with like Unity. I think it's using Unity. I don't know. I'm just gonna relaunch it and pray it fixes itself. I don't know. But yeah, I should have had red squigglies. Oh my god, oh my god. Isn't the thing that's good about Visual Studio is like the idea is it's just supposed to work out of the box without all this extra fixing as if it's like I feel like I'm using Visual Studio Code right now.
Centrally can säger, no.
Wow.
Rewins et säger, this is why I just use an editor and not a full id.
Ah. I think it's because of the error. Remember how the project well basically crashed during creation? Like I don't think it like hooked up the IntelliSense properly or something, so now it's not. It doesn't like I don't know. I don't know.
Xombrax14 säger, have you looked at ReSharper or something like that? The C-sharp id from JetBrains. Centrally can säger, id how you have so many
No, but I
problems
do
with
know
it though
JetBrains is
now I
like
don't have these
pay to use
problems.
more or less. Yeah, you don't have those problems. Well, that's nice. Well, here we go.
Centrally
Gosh,
can säger,
ChatGPT.
try chilling it in Task Manager and relaunching completely.
That's an idea. Okay. Kill it, say. Alright. I murdered it. I still don't have red squigglies. Okay. So the IDE can't even do its most basic job, which is
Centrally can
well,
säger, ask
red
Google time.
squigglies is like one of its basic jobs. Yeah, it is just ask Google time. Ask AI time.
Renidan94 säger, hello. Xombrax14 säger, maybe you disable it at some point. Centrally can säger, maybe try running it.
Console.
Centrally can säger, it might not work until you build.
I don't think I disabled anything. I ran it done. Oh, until I built. I don't know. That didn't seem to do anything. Tools, options, text editor, C# advanced. Show live semantic errors,
Centralikan
enable full
säger,
solution
what billing
analysis,
are you
background
paying money
analysis.
for this AI? Rewins ett säger, at Centralikan, what are you using FreeBI? Centralikan säger, Gemini with a Google account. Centralikan säger, unlocks the other options for free. Rewins ett säger, at Centralikan, he had to pay for Google One for Gemini Pro. Centralikan säger, well he didn't so he do get some limits though. Centralikan
I don't see
säger,
any settings
so he
related to
can't
what it
spam
just said.
Pro extended. Rewins ett säger,
Standards, yes,
maybe
but
just limited usage ig.
title bar should look something like program.cs.
Centralikan säger, the Visual Studio setting navigation is us. Centralikan säger, lemmer check.
Oh, maybe I have to open this. No, not that. Never mind. No, hope. Build clean solution. Build rebuild solution. Oh. Okay, let me just get rid of all the actual errors. Build. Actually, there might be something wrong with this whole project. Like, it seems like there's stuff missing in the files. Like, for like I don't think this will run. This doesn't even run. The hello world. There's literally something wrong with this. And I think I'm just gonna copy paste everything and just delete this whole project, delete this whole folder, delete everything in here. Cause I don't know. Like it literally, when I was creating it, crashed during creation. So something's, I don't know. I'm guessing like things are missing.
Exombrax14 säger, yes, try a new solution.
Yeah, that's sad.
Centralikan säger, delete Windows and try a new OS.
What's the error? Run a NuGet package restore to generate this file. What's... Oh, assets file not found. Oh yeah, it's missing files. I think it's just easier to create a whole new thing.
Renidan94 säger, is
Deleting
fair
all of
or
this.
syntax error or what's the issue?
The issue is I was generating a C# project, a console app, and halfway while generating it crashed. Basically, it stopped responding, so I had to close it. And it seemed like, oh, I guess it created it and the folder was there, but it's missing files and stuff.
Renidan94 inte licenser Voldent work
And the hello
and
world
the
won't even
hello
run.
world
Yeah.
Voldent
And then
even
it says
run.
something about a JSON missing, and it's like, you know what, I don't want to deal with
Renidan94
this.
säger,
Let's
AJC.
delete. I'm gonna delete this
Exombrax
entire
14
folder and then
säger,
generate the
okej.
project again. It's like, so clearly the crash affected what it, the setup of the project. And then I just hope that it doesn't crash again, basically, while creating it. Because all I'm trying to do is make a simple console app. Like, oh my god, why is this so difficult? Okay, it's creating the project again. Oh, it made the project. Oh my god, it did it. Good. Good, good, good. Who knew? I'd actually never realized just how much I rely on the red
Rewinds
squigglies, but
säger,
I
yay.
really, really rely on them. Like, let's just... Okay, first off, let's see if Hello World wants to run. Hell, what is this? Okay, Hello World. Good. What is this? Visual Studio brings an unexpected...
Exombrax 14 säger, good.
That is good. An unexpected problem may affect some project functions. What is it talking about? There were some exceptions on the inside or something, but maybe I can just ignore it. Oh my god. I'm just gonna ignore it. Alright, time to test the
Centralikan
squigglies.
säger, what dare you
Oh,
do?
look, red
Spit on your
squigglies!
hard drive. Why is it broken? Rewinds säger, ignore unless it comes up as a problem later.
I'm running this again.
Exombrax 14 säger, can't see the log.
Is this like normal to have this information? Wait, show output from... Should this be a build or
Centralikan
something?
säger, we see stuff it's fine don't listen to Exombrax. Renidan94
Wait, what is all
säger,
this? Like,
yeah,
this
it's
isn't... Is
normal.
this normal when you run it to see
Centralikan
all this
säger,
information?
yeah.
Oh, it's normal. Okay, yeah, now I'm just like really paranoid. Like, is any of this, like, what things are normal and what things aren't? Okay, this is normal. It's very good. Okay, cool. Alright, so I can just be like, boop. Is something's wrong with that? There's another one. And let's see if this runs the Hello World again. Okay, I think I can start working now.
Exombrax 14 säger, at Centralikan.
God. So now, it should yell at me when I'm... Yeah, it is, yeah. Okay, good, it's working now! Because this is the cursed way to make an array. And I should have realized, I should have known better that that was cursed. Alright, let me scroll up and find the proper
no, the C#
syntax.
way is cursed.
No, the C# way is the good way. Whatever that is first. I can't believe you didn't type that. Int name equals new int size. Oh, yeah, that's how that works. Because you give it a type. Yeah, this how should be. Type int array. Prisoners? Trying to remember if I capitalize this or make it lowercase. I don't remember if the naming convention is supposed to be capital or lowercase here, honestly. I mean, it's like a field, not a property. I don't know, lowercase, I guess? So I do it. New int size. Yes, that's right. 100. All those S. What? Or fields. Okay, so this is correct. Int. I'm gonna type it out instead of copy paste because I didn't remember what the syntax was, so that means I just have to type it more. Int drawers. So this needs to shuffle an array of 100. Which actually, I probably could just put it inside of this class. Because I'm only going to be using it in here, I think. Let's just say, for now, int. Because these will be shuffled, but int envelopes. Or cards, yes. Wait, so what are these initialized to? There's an array of 100 ints, so what are they all? Like null? Or wait, or what is the number in each one? Are they empty? Wait, no, that's strings. Or is it 0? Each
Rewinds ett säger 0.
or 0. Okay.
Exombrax 14 säger the default value for int should be 0.
I wonder if it makes sense using an int then.
Rewinds ett säger
Wait,
svenska
why?
man Said nullmakes it confusing lol.
I'm wondering if what I did was useless because like
Centralikan säger
I don't
it
actually care about
defaults
the
to null
value.
yes.
I only care about the fact that there's 100 prisoners. This is Oh, wait, no, I do. Wait, no. Do I? No, wait, that does get shuffled. Wait. The numbers on their back get shuffled. Right. So these do need to have a value at some point, and then that would be random. And that matters. So this matters. Okay. And then the drawers, yeah, have a number. Their value will link to which of the cards. Okay. And then right. So I need a thing that shuffles. Wait, I actually want to use like a helper method in here. I want to put it in here instead. And I want it to be like a kind of how to do it. I think it's like you don't use public and you don't use static and you just put the name and then the return type. It's a nested method or whatever it's called. I forgot. Wait, does this
Rewinds
return?
ett säger,
What does this
salt
return?
browser.
Does this not return? I don't remember.
Centralikan
I don't
säger,
know.
one of these days you should dedicate some time to setting up a safe streaming environment that doesn't necessitate this whole window Yankee
Int?
knobs.
Yeah, it's pretty jank. Yeah. I mean, it's better. It's gonna be better to, yeah, one of these days, yeah. Once I get some like proper equipment and proper computer and proper screens and stuff like
Centralikan
that,
säger, so that
then
you
it
can
won't be too
just
hard.
share screen instead. Rewinds ett säger, så old.
Why did you? What? What rewinds? What? Well, I want this to
Rewinds ett
return.
säger, browser. Centralikan säger, browser.
Oh,
Renidan
that's why you guys
94
are pointing that
säger,
out.
we see
Sorry.
ChatGPT.
I thought you liked seeing ChatGPT. I'm sorry. And
Centralikan
I made all
säger,
these.
ChatGPT.
I want a method that returns. Oh no, I don't need. It shouldn't return. Should it? I don't know. No, I wanted to shuffle.
Centralikan säger, also don't worry about other people's naming conventions. Use what's consistent and easy for you.
I wanted to shuffle the numbers 1 to 100.
Centralikan säger, whatever's
Wait,
natural
do I
feeling.
really want to shuffle an array? I think it'd be easier just to shuffle the numbers 1 to 100 and then use that to like put them in an array manually. Oh wait, but I think the point of this was supposed to be, it's supposed to be efficient using the fishery. I'm not actually sure if it like even makes sense using the fishery H shuffle, because then I would have to shuffle each of the arrays individually, I think. Because I think there's multiple things that have to be shuffled. Like, well, the first, no, I don't. I mean, I thought it'd be fun to use that, but I don't, I'm not even sure if it makes
Rewinds
sense.
ett säger,
Because I'm
att
going to be assigning the
Centralikan
values
usually
into the
name
ints.
everything with
So
just
it would be
letter
easier to
per
shuffle the
variable.
numbers outside of an int array of int. Oh, wait. Or maybe I could do it like this. Ints. And call it shuffle 100, I guess. Yeah.
Centralikan säger,
And
that's the way to do it.
and then this will just hold an array of a shuffled. It'll hold a shuffled 100, and then I can do it over and over again and store all the shuffled numbers in this, and then I can reassign
Centralikan
this
säger,
into other
you have
things or
plenty of spare Unicode characters.
whatever, and that should be easy to do.
Renidan 94
I don't know.
säger,
It makes
at
sense in my head.
Rewinds ett nightmare fuel.
Which means I need to fill this with the numbers 1 to 100. Which means, let me think about this.
Centralikan säger, I remember one time he took one of my projects, opened it in Denspy, and replaced all the names with.
Wow.
Rewinds ett säger, I think list är mindre än inte är större än might be a good solution for your random 100 numbers.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to try to use that shuffle, and to do it, I need an array because it works with an array. Like the idea is to yeah, because with a list, it handles it behind the scenes. Like you can add things to the list and shrink things with the list, right? Because like the list thing creates an array for you, and then if you remove an item from the list, it makes a new array with like a smaller array, but it does that all behind the scenes for you, and it's convenient. But I want to do this like
Rewinds
manually,
ett
a little
säger,
more
What
manually,
about this? Enumerable,
just for the sake of
range
learning.
1. 100 orderby, x är lika med är större än random, shared, next.
Nice. But for the Fisher Yates, the idea is, I never explained it, but I'm trying to do something very specific for learning purposes. Is imagine you have an ordered array from 0 to
Rewinds ett
100.
säger, OK.
What you do is you pull, well then you still need a random thing, I guess. Oh, so either way I have to use like some kind of random
Centralikan säger,
function.
which made it aldrig compile as är mindre
Because
än
I
är
have to grab
mindre
a
än
random
empty
one and then
understreck
pull it
name
and
är
put it
större än
behind.
är större än är mindre än empty understreck name är större än är mindre än empty understreck name är större än a understreck 0 är mindre än empty understreck name är större än a understreck 1. Centralikan säger, I think I have that screenshot somewhere, let me check.
You still have to, no matter what, I'm gonna have to pick a random number and a range. So then, like, what's the point of this? I'm just like thinking, if you can already pick a random number in a range, then why? You're trying to set, in this case, you're trying to shuffle an array. Oh, without creating a new array each time. That's the point. Well, at the very least, I guess I can take the one thing that you have, that you came up with rewinds, which is the enumerable dot range. I guess that's gonna pick a random. Oh no, that's not the random. The random is the random dot. Which I actually do need that
Centralikan
for the
säger,
method B.
What kind of crack was he smoking when
C
he wrote
sharp.
this code I'm
Pick a
looking at?
random number. Huh. Which random I shared that? What's it called that?
Rewinds ett säger,
Why did that one
yes
say
this is how
random.share?
you
This one just says
program. Google what you
random.next.
need, screw the damn website guide THINGI. Rewinds ett säger, I am so happy for you.
That is less than the specified maximum. I guess I could just do .next. I don't know what the shared thing is. That showed up too in the AI's answer.
Centralikan säger, osaltsdiv googling now, nice. Rewinds ett säger, this is how
Random.shared
you do
property
it on the is the best stream ever.
provides a thread safe
Xendrax14
random
säger,
instance
but
and may be
in
used
which
concurrently
range
from
are
any
those
thread.
random numbers?
I'm not even sure what it means when something's thread safe. But it's probably, I don't think that's important for what I'm doing. What? I've done that for like a long time. Corrupt Google things and Google methods and stuff. Screw the damn website guide thingy. What website guide thingy? I don't have the access. Wait, are you talking about exorcism? Because I'm not doing that anymore, so I don't have easy access to like go in and look it. Oh, you're talking about like going through the documentation? The reason I'm Googling it specifically like that too is also because I've used this before. I just don't remember its name and how to
Rewinds ett
use it.
säger, I think the random.
But
Share is just so you
I've
have
actually
one
used
shared instance,
random.next, so I'm
instead
just
of
like,
having a
what is it
bunch of
again?
instances, probably.
Oh, one shared instance instead of having a bunch of instances. Something, yeah. Well, in any case, I'm not doing stuff with like threading on different threads or whatever, so I don't think it matters. I think I can just random.next. And what? It's like type.
Rewinds ett säger, I just mean instead of learning C# via that guide website you were solving problems in.
Do I have to use like using random, or is this part of the C# library? No, I have. Do I? Can I do this? I mean, it doesn't like show up in my IntelliSense next, but share shows up. So maybe I have to share it. I think I actually have to write shared, even
Rewinds
though
ett
it doesn't show
säger,
it in the
browser.
sample. I don't think it'll even let me do it without. Actually,
Rewinds ett säger, you need an instance of random.
I know. I'm just using it to look in the IntelliSense of what's valid. I'm not actually trying to type it out right now. Oh wait, actually, I don't think you were even able to see the code I just typed. Because you know, window jank. Just was using random.next. It's also being written as rnd.next. Now I'm honestly also like kind of mildly confused why you can write it like that too. Instead of random, write it as rnd. Because I thought you specifically had to use like the class name or whatever. So that's like optional. Oh, maybe because I don't know. I don't know why it shows that in the sample code. Yeah, that's just shared, I guess. Wait, if I
säger,
don't,
you
then what
gotta make
happens?
a random instance. Reowinset säger, random
An
myren är
object
lika
reference is
med
a
nu.
reference to a field method property. Oh, you would have to make a new. It's the same. It's curious if the same thing shows up. I'll do it like this. What? Oh, I also okay. Ah, okay. So it's different. Whatever I did earlier needed an object reference, so this doesn't, I guess. So this one can just function as like this one's just static, I guess, and then the other one needs an object of random. Weird. Oh, that's good to know.
Legion
Okay, I
18
can try the Fisher
säger,
Yates now.
are you confusing C# as random and unity's random maybe?
Oh my god, maybe? Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if I have IntelliSense right now for Unity. Wait, let me write something in Unity because I'm not doing Unity right now. I made a console app, so it shouldn't be using, you know, like Unity. If I do something with game object or anything. What's the thing I can type that's like Unity? Transform? No, I'm not using Unity. Like none of the Unity things are showing up in IntelliSense, and it shouldn't because I'm not doing anything with Unity. I was just looking at how random is used.
Legion
And if I
18
do like
säger, C#
random.next,
has a random
I need
that you have to
I need an
instantiate,
object.
Unity has
But
a
if I do
random that is static.
random.shared.next, then I don't need an object reference. So I was just like confused by this for a second because they're different. I'm not really sure why. Wait, why? Why does it even make sense? How does this even make sense? Why? Why? Because it's like
Reowinset
a
säger,
class can
yeah
only be
you can't do
static
random,
or not
next you need an
static,
instance
right?
of a random object.
Oh wait, this is a property. Shared.next.
Legion 18
A thread safe
säger,
random. Oh wait, so it's like
random,
handling it
shared
for
is
me
just a random
with the
object.
shared, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't. I know I'm confused actually. Random.share is
Centralikan
just a.
säger, I found the screenshot I
I'm
was
confusing
looking for.
myself. Random.shared is just a random object. Oh, it already is an object. Oh, oh yeah. But then, but it's wait. But the thing that's confusing me is if it's just an object. I didn't. I guess this is new. I guess I just didn't know that you could call it like that because I didn't know I could access. I didn't know I could access the object in random. Well, I didn't know I could access that object without making a new object of random. Because if random is not static, I thought I would be forced to make a random just to access random.shared. Like that's what I thought I would have to do. So that's like confusing. Honestly. Maybe I don't know, maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I don't fully understand properties or something.
Centralikan säger, you said random like 60 times
Yeah,
in the
I
last
bet I
minute.
did. Isn't that just so
Legion
totally random?
18C säger, let me send you the code for shared.
Okay.
Renidan
But
94 säger,
But
yes
then how
shared
am I
is
even
an
allowed
already
to access it? Because
instantiated
don't you
instance
have to
of
make an
random that
instance of an
only
object to
exists to
access
guarantee that
properties of
it
an
can be
object?
called safely between
Right? And
different
random's an
threads.
object, so I would have to make a random to access its property, which is shared, and shared is also an object. It's like an object in an object. This was what I
Centralikan
thought it
säger,
was.
static properties.
Safely between different friends already exist. Static properties. Oh, you can have that? I'm actually stupid. That actually makes sense. Wait, I don't know why in my head I thought like, oh, you can only have properties inside of non-static classes, but I guess there's no reason why not. Yeah, I don't know. I just made an assumption for no reason without being told that. Because the only time I've seen properties so far have been within object classes that aren't static. So I just kind of jumped to the conclusion of you only use properties inside non-static classes. So that's why that didn't make sense.
Rewins ett säger, Legion Chovs encoding talk.
Hey Legion, I'm trying to do the Fisher Yates thing. Yay. You know, instead of I'm not even like gonna necessarily try to solve this whole problem today. I might just work on it chunk by chunk. You know, like today I might just do the Fisher Yates part, and if that works, and it's like, okay, I touched code, I touched Unity, I'm happy now. Okay, cool. Yeah. Alright, so I want a method inside of this thing, and I want it to
Legion
just be a
18C
method I
säger,
only use in
cool.
this class, I think. Wait, no. Do I? Where am I gonna call the method? I think I'm gonna call it inside of here. But then how do you do it like return type? You skip the
Centralikan
public and
säger,
static, and then you
random,
only put the
shared är
return
lika med
type.
new random, thread safe random.
And
Centralikan säger,
ints.
from random, seekter.
And I want it to return. Is this how you do this? Can I make it return an int that's like 100? Is this type? And then
Rewins
name.
ett säger, at centralikan does C# have ditor. Centralikan säger, yeah.
Ooh, I think I.
Centralikan säger, destructor, yeah. Rewins ett
I think I set
säger,
this up wrong
what
too.
is syntax? In CPP it's till the class name. Centralikan säger, som är syntax. Rewins ett säger,
you can have static
itchich.
things in non-static classes. You cannot have non-static things in static things. Wait, what? You can have static things and non-static classes. Non-static things and static things. You mean non-static things and non-static classes? Isn't that what we were talking about? I don't remember. This is getting confusing. Oh, encoding talk.
Centralikan säger, you can have static members in a non-static class, but you cannot have non-static members
Private
in a
static,
static
random,
class.
shared equals new random. Public static, random, shared. You can have static members in a non-static class. You cannot have non-static members in a static class.
Centralikan säger, is what they think they meant.
So shared is the random dot shared. Isn't that non-static? And you can have non-static. It said you cannot have non-static members in a static class. Wait, I thought you guys were saying there was a non-static member in a static class. Because if the class wasn't,
Centralikan
if the
säger,
class was
random, shared is static.
oh, it's static. Oh, it's not non-static.
Rewinds ett säger, random, shared is a static random inside of the non-static class random. Centralikan säger, if you can access it via class name, member name,
Then
it's
it's static.
static.
Random dot shared is an object, but yet it's still static. Is that like normal? How does that even happen? How do you, if it's type random, like how did it ever become static? Why is it static? What? I thought objects were always not static. I also had this idea in my head that like if it's like an object, then it can never be static. Because static means you're not an object.
Legion 18C säger, you can have static in non-static classes. Rewinds ett säger, static pretty much just means you don't need an instance of an object to get that member property. Rewinds ett säger, someone correct me if I am wrong. Centralikan säger, public class example.
But then wouldn't the
public
outside
static
have to be
example
static to
instance
do
of
that?
example
What?
är lika med new example.
Oh. Public. Public class example. Public static. Can you instance of example equals new example? I didn't know that was valid.
Legion
Yeah, that surprises
18C
me.
säger,
Public static
you can have
example
static
instance
in
of example is
non-static
new
classes,
example,
so no,
and you can
the
turn it
outside does not
static and
have
then
to
access
static.
it. This surprises me. I have never seen this combination before in C#. Yet.
Centralikan säger, it's mind-bending as a newbie that you can have an instance of your class in
As a
field
field of your class, and you can say that field is static despite that being an object. You're just like, oh, it's static, so therefore it can be accessed from the class that's not static, as if it was a static class. Like, that seems dumb. But okay, sure. I accept that this is allowed then. It just seems weird. The outside doesn't have to be static. But all that matters, okay, I thought the outside, the class, was the gatekeeper, but I guess not. If you have a static member, then you can access it. Like, even if the class isn't static, you can still access it as if the class was static. Like, you can, with the naming. All that matters is, like, the member you're trying to access, not the actual, like, class on the outside. But that's, like, so weird. Okay, I think I get it now. I think I get it. and some of
Reowinds
my
ett säger,
assumptions were
the good
wrong
thing is
about
that the
C#.
static random object is a singular instance that is only created once, right? It's only made one time even if accessed in many places. Legion 18C
Oh,
säger,
that's really
an
what static
example
is saying.
is
Is
that
like I'm
static
creating
is
this
often
one
used
time.
for math types to add utility methods, vectors in particular, vector 3, cross, vector 2, dot etc. Legion 18C säger, if you remember, when you made
Wait, or
operator
something.
overloads, those methods were also static. Centralican säger, static classes pretty much exist to enforce that everything in them must be static.
They were also static.
Reowinds ett säger,
But the
information
operator
overload
overloads
or
were,
what?
I don't remember. So. We're just, but I'm used to static methods. And besides, like, I'm overloading something that I can't even see. So it's like, I never knew, like, what's the class look like that those operate, those methods, I don't know what class they're in. I didn't care. It's like, I know I'm just overloading them and then I just use the stuff and it will work. Exists to enforce that everything in them must be static. Oh. So that static member, or what about that the random dot shared? Everything inside of it is static because it has to be? Is that what you Yeah, that's the information. Static often use math types to add utility methods. Okay. Oh, that's good to know. So vector 3 and vector 2 are not, just because cross and dot methods are not static, are static, sorry. Just because cross and dot are static doesn't mean vector 2 and vector 3 are static. Because but yet you can still access them because they're static, so that's all that matters, is whether the thing you're trying to access is static. Okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Centralican
I
säger,
get it
you're
now.
static.
I'm gonna be using random.shared, so I don't have to create a whole new instance of random because it's
Reowinds ett
unnecessary.
säger, at Centralican know
You're
you're
static.
static.
Wow.
DTF.
You're all static, all of you. Ugh, how do I get it to return what I want to return? I want it to return, or I don't know, maybe it should be void.
Prove it. Centralican säger, access me.
No, I don't know. No, I wanted to return an array. Oh, wait. Yeah, no, I wanted to return an array of
Säger,
100s.
at Centralican you don't want me to do that, trust me.
Oh, I do it like this. I need the new keyword. It just dawned in my head that it didn't work. Because it doesn't work. Never mind. I thought I would do it like that. God damn it. What if I just want it in int? Does this work? Okay, so something's missing then. What's wrong with my method? Oh, because it needs to return. So if I was just like, oh, return. Oh, now it works. That's the only problem. Okay, so probably, wait, let's start with this. I might have to do new. And then let's say int 100. No, it doesn't like this. New? That still doesn't work. How can I use this as a return type? I want this as a return type.
Centralican probably throws in his jätter, careful. Reowinds ett säger, maybe just int.
Oh, I thought I Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Oh my god, I thought it would matter. I thought it had to be a specific size specified here, but I guess not. Okay, cool. Okay. So this is supposed to
Rewinds säger
shuffle
att
and
redan 94 what about his setter? Legion 18C säger you only specific the length of the array when you instantiate it.
oh. Okay. Um right. So
Renidan 94 säger at rewinds it probably allowed just to add confusion.
so first I want
Rewinds it säger at Renidan 94 since he
one
is
called,
addicted to then spy I'm just gonna decompile him.
I don't know. Well, I want a method that, well, this one's for shuffle. I want a method that can take an array and then assign the values 0 to 100 for all of the elements of the array. I want to assign the number 0 to 100, and then later on I'm going to shuffle some of them. I think that's reasonable.
Centralikan säger I'm not addicted to
So
then spy, I just use it.
I'm not exactly
Centralikan
sure how to
säger
do
and
that,
I
but it
am
would
not
be
in
like
denial.
void, I guess, because not. No, I'm trying to think. Am I returning something? I can't even like figure out right now if it has a if I write a method and I want to be able to put any array, any of these or any kind of array in, the array will always be size 100, and I want the values 0 to 100 assigned into each element, then would that have a, I'm not even sure if that would have a return type.
Centralikan säger int shuffle, int input.
But I'm not doing a shuffle right now. I want to have two methods. This one will shuffle. Here, I'm just gonna, so it will stop giving me squiggle right now. I want an array for shuffling, and I want an array, sorry, not an array. I can't even use words properly. I want a method to
Centralikan
shuffle,
säger
and I want a
for rule.
method to assign the values before. Because I have to assign values before I shuffle the values. Right? Or would I do that? Is that what shuffling is? Assigning values? Ugh. Wait, yeah, never mind. That's what shuffle is. That's actually what shuffle is supposed to do, is assign random values. 1 to 100. The elements of the array never change order. I don't know why I'm being stupid about like, oh, these change order. No, they don't. They stay the same. Always. Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking. So then, okay, so all I have is the shuffle. Yeah, that's good. And then, yeah, I like what I was originally doing. Okay, so what's step one? Step one is start from the value. Maybe I should write out the steps, because then it would be easier to code. So pick a random element in the array. Move that random element to the back. Shrink the size of the array of which elements you can now pick from. Pick a new random element. Move that element. Oh wait, or what am I doing? Pick a random. Is element the right word? But I still need the values. But the problem is that I still need something to assign the values 0 to 100 because right now every single element is 0 and it shouldn't be. So wait, I still need to do that anyway. So I want something that like automatically assigns.
Renidan94 säger, yes, your possible values needs to be initialized either way.
Yeah, I want a method that initializes the values, and I can just give it an array, and then it'd be cool if it just like initialized them. But I'm not sure how you. I'm not sure how you would do that. Because the only way I know how to do it is I would have to make a initialize method for prisoners and an initialize method for drawers,
Centralikan säger,
and that's not
for
good.
loop.
That sounds stupid. Yeah, but I feel like I'd have to copy and paste it 4 times for each of these, for example. And that's not what I want to do. I want to just write it once and have it apply for all of these.
Centralikan säger, well no.
Oh wait, no, I can have it
Centralikan
return another
säger,
int 100.
alla till 100 så.
I thought of it. I thought of what I could do. Okay, no, I'm not supposed to do it like that. Fill in arrays. Fill in values? I don't know.
Centralikan säger, prisoners i är lika med i,
I'll
drawers
just name it
i är
this.
lika med i, etc. in for loop. Centralikan säger, no don't use that.
Oh, no. Oh wait, that's stupid.
Centralikan säger,
Why?
oh it's a method, never mind.
Yeah. It is. So 4. Okay, sure with 0.
Centralikan säger, I thought you were gonna make a till 100 array and try to copy it.
Is less than 100. Oh, that's what we thought. Oh, because if I tried to do that, it would just copy like the memory location or something of that and not actually the value. I don't know. I don't. What is an array? Is it
Centralikan säger, yeah.
Yeah. What do they call that? They call that value type versus reference type. Yeah, it's a reference. Yeah, that would be so bad. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Centralikan säger, an array is pass and copy by reference. Renidan94 säger, yes value versus reference type.
Wait, does that mean that if I create a thing that returns a new int, then, but this is useless then. It's not, because I'm just gonna toss this aside. I don't care about it being 0. But doesn't that make that useless? Because I'm just going to assign a new memory address to a new array that I'm creating here. Fill-in arrays is designed to return an array of 100 so that I can assign it in a method later on. So I don't even think I should, this is a waste
Rewinds
then.
säger, what about levalue ref and ervalue ref? Centralikan säger, what?
I was just thinking this is useless because I'm just, well, I don't know if you realize I was going to do this, but I was going to use this I was going to use this to assign this, call this method repeatedly and assign it a new array to each of these. And if I'm doing that, then what's the point of saying new int 100?
Centralikan
Or maybe that's a
säger,
bad way to solve
what
this,
in
but
what is rewinds talking about?
oh, sorry. Let's see.
Rewinds säger, don't listen to me in being stupid C++.
Int. I'm not sure if you can use this word. I think so, yeah. Equals new
Renidan
int
94
100.
säger, new int 100 will allocate the space for 100 numbers, which you may then modify by simply setting the values inside.
Array dot 0? Oh, no, array 0. I plus 1. I want to start at the count of 1. You know how this works? 100% room rate labeled 1 to 100, 1 to 100, 1 to 100. Return
Centralikan
array.
säger, array, i. Rewinds säger, you can just start i at 1.
Ooh, I could make a constructor, couldn't I? That like assigns, that does, the constructor will do this method
Centralikan säger,
and will
array,
fill in
i
all
mot array,
these.
0.
Couldn't I do that? I think so. I don't even know if it makes sense to, but I could do that.
Rewinds säger, insättningstecken, 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 insättningstecken,
Like if I
insättningstecken,
do
insättningstecken, insättningstecken. Centralikan säger, yes, constructor is what you probably should be doing here.
100 prisoners.
Centralikan
And a
säger,
constructor doesn't
now
have a
that
privacy modifier, does it?
Rewinds
I
säger,
don't remember.
sorry, det spam on.
Can you give a constructor a privacy modifier? Can I be like private? Oh, it works. Public? I don't even know why you would do this, what this means exactly.
Renidan 94 säger, yes.
Okay. Okay, sure.
Centralikan säger, it can but don't use it and you won't have to think about it. Just mark
public,
it
I guess, so that nothing goes wrong. Yeah, I'm not gonna use it. Yes, public is good. So prisoners equals fill in arrays. Right, so now they're initialized. Once this object is created. Fill in arrays. What is wrong with me? Arrays. Shuffle. There. And then I have my other thing that should shuffle and wait. This actually might be useless too. Because all I need is a random. No,
Centralikan
I'll just keep this
säger,
for now.
your
This
filledin is wrong.
is this?
Centralikan säger, array, i, not array, 0.
Filled in is wrong. Array I. Why did you put 0? Yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, because it starts on 0. That was wrong. Oh, that was gonna create weird behavior. Thank you. Yes, yes. Good catch. So prisoners does not need to be shuffled. So this is good.
Centralikan säger, you were gonna have
Drawers.
time.
I need to figure out which need to be shuffled.
Renidan94 säger, good change, well done.
I was gonna have a really bad time with that. Thank you. A horrible time. If you didn't call that. That was so bad. I'm trying to cover the drawers. I'm 1 to 100. This is fine. Honestly, this might not even need to be an array, but whatever. I'm doing it like that. No, wait, no, this needs to have a value. So. Cards 1 to 100. The cards are the value. So the only thing, I don't actually need an array called cards. Because the drawers hold the cards. The value of the drawers is the cards. So making cards as an array didn't make any sense, but I didn't know that at the time. So I don't need that. There's gonna be things I make that it's like, oh, I don't actually need this, but I can just get rid of it later. This needs to be shuffled. Wait, so I made a method to fill in a single array called prisoners. I just realized, because the only one that needed this was just, it just was this. So, okay, well, it's fine. Drawers needs a, yeah, it needs a shuffled array. Let me make a note of that. Are the cards. To do that.
Centralikan säger, don't the prisoners start their search at their prisoner index, or am I misremembering the problem?
They do, but I need to model both problems. I need to be able to model prisoners picking randomly is the first task, and then I model the correct solution. So I'm not actually trying to do the correct solution right now. I'm just trying to like set up the problem before I put the algorithms in. There's the optimal one, and then there's the prisoners guessed randomly one, and I have to model that too. So, okay, so now there's...
Centralikan säger, well you still don't need more than one shuffled array, methinks.
Yeah, I don't think I do. I think this is the only thing that needs to be shuffled. Prisoners? I don't even think prisoners needs to be an array now. I'm thinking like prisoners is just 0 to 100. Like I could have used the integers 0 to 100 to represent the prisoners. I think this was unnecessary. I'm gonna make a note of that. I don't even think... No, it needs... No. It needs an array because... No, it doesn't. Because the first prisoner was just... It doesn't matter. If the prisoner... If we always start on prisoner number 0, he has to find 0 in the drawers. It's still going to be random. Yeah, the prisoner is just an index. It doesn't need to exist. You're right. I didn't realize that at the time, but yeah. Wait. Okay, before changing the code, I'm just going to keep it for a second. I will delete this, don't worry. But not yet. Just so... I'm just going to put a note on it right now, and then I'll delete it later. Prisoners. So my helper method was not really very helpful at the end because I'm really not using it. Prisoners does not need to be an array.
Centralikan säger, lul.
Just an index. Because there's no other information that I need to know about the prisoners. Okay, cool. Shuffled. This is probably going to be not useful. Oh my god, even filled into arrays isn't useful because I don't really need the numbers 0 to 100 lined up. Yeah, this was kind of... Oh, but you know what? I can call this inside of shuffle, which seems stupid too, but I worked hard on that. Okay, let me finish making my my cheat sheet.
Centralikan säger, you need the numbers 1 till 100 filled in to shuffle them.
Yes, and that's why I'll call this because I need the numbers 0 to 100 filled in. So I will call this inside of shuffle.
Säger, unless you have some weird algorithm.
Pick a new So to do this, pick a random element in the array. Move that random element to the back. Shrink the size of the array of which elements you can now pick from. Pick a new random element. Move that element to the back -1. And so on. And then what's the end condition is only one element left in the array to pick from. Ends when there is only one element, because then you don't need to shuffle anymore. Left in the array to pick from. Okay, so I think that's correct. So first step, pick a random element.
16 säger, hi, there is a cool way to fill in arrays with numbers leaked is using the enumerable range to array.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that what's his name suggested. Rewinds. But I'm trying to, I don't like have to, but just for funsies, I'm trying to use a very specific shuffle algorithm, which is why I'm doing it like this. So instead of calling like a method that already exists in C# to make this convenient, I'm just manually using the Fisher-Yates shuffle. That's what this is called. Because I thought it'd be fun and educational.
New library, code just do it yourself SM.
But yeah, that is cool.
Rewinds
I'm gonna
säger,
arrange it
it's
to array.
crazy these days people
Very
Lenin
nice.
and such.
Ha, you guys are funny. Okay, let's do this manually with the algorithm. Pick a random element. Wait, so that should be, now I'm gonna be using that random dot. Oh, also it should be in a for loop because this is like a
Centralikan
thing.
säger, men
For?
only.
And we know there's 100 elements in the array, so we have to do it 100 times
Rewinds säger,
to shuffle.
FAFO type deal.
For I 0.
Wolfheat 16 säger,
I
yeah
is less
Fisher
than
Gate
100.
use a lot, but you can still get the array, and then do the shuffle from
I
null
plus
length.
plus. We also need an array to start to do the shuffling on to access the indexer. So it's like int array equals, and then I'm gonna call my fill in array. Fill in arrays. So I got to use it once. What? Oh no. Oh yeah, syntax. So that's it's a useful method because I only call it once ever, which makes it the best method ever. Okay, so now I have an array of 100 and everything's good. So first step, and I use a comma again for some reason.
Renidan 94 säger, replace comma online 67 with semicolon.
Yeah. Array.
Wolfheat 16 säger, better to use är mindre än array.
Random dot shared dot next. And it should be wait, it said is less than the specified amount. Can it return 0? Wait, maybe I should use the next with the two arguments because I want it to be able to return 0. 0 is an integer, right? A non-negative. Is 0 negative? 0 is not negative. So if I do like shared.next 100, will it possibly give me 0? Because if it can't, then I shouldn't do this.
Centralikan
I need
säger,
the number 0.
it returns up to not including your max.
But is 0 an integer? A non-zero integer? I don't know if it is. Non-negative random integer.
Centralikan säger, but what did you know is that the docs will say.
Okay.
Säger, check MSden.
Yeah.
Centralikan säger, noll is not a non-zero integer.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I could cheat. This is stupid, but oh yeah, shit the docs.
Säger,
It's not
by
non-zero.
definition. Renidan 94
I think I'll
säger,
just not
null
use this
is a
method. I'll just use a
positive
different
integer,
one.
however.
Returns a random integers within a specified range. Yeah. Wait, within a specified range, inclusive or
Centralikan
exclusive?
säger, it's non-negative.
The inclusive lower bound, the exclusive upper. Oh my god, the lower bound is inclusive, the upper bound is exclusive. Like, why are they not the same? Like, stupid. Must be greater than or equal to. Wait, what? Must be greater than or equal to min value. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Exclusive means not included, right? So.
Centralikan säger, not positive or negative
So I have to
unless you're
go
afloat.
0. Because I want 0 to be, it's inclusive, and then max value is exclusive, so
Rewinds säger, juppers.
100, which will generate 0 to 99. Okay. Equals. What am I doing?
Centralikan säger, yes, so range 0 till 10 will give you possible
Wait.
values 0,1, 2,3, 4,5,
I'm picking a random
6,7,
thing.
8,9.
And then I'm assigning it. Yeah, this
Wolfheat
picks a
16
random one.
säger as long as you use
Assign
health
it to
then
the
it takes
end,
care of the exclusive since
which
the
is
index ends at
100.
before. Ruins ett säger salt.
Right?
Ruins ett säger
Wait.
browser.
I think I just turned this into a variable because I'm getting confused. This is the chosen value to shuffle.
Ruins ett säger browser stream.
Wait, the value will always be. No, that's useless. Sorry, what? Oh, thank you. Sorry. I'll get better. I'll get better. I'll learn eventually. I was doing last typing. Right. So this will be like a random one in the array, and that's all good. But then what do I want to do? I want to take that value and then copy it. Yes. So then array 100 minus I equals this, because I want that value to go in the back. But then the problem is that what do I do with it? I took the value and I copied it to the back of the array, but now it still exists in the array. Like now I need to I can't I don't want to accidentally pull it again. So actually I'm not sure how to handle that. Do I need to swap? Oh, I need to swap the values of each other. So I copied this one here, but I also need the last one. They need to switch places, and then the array needs to shrink, or not the array, but the amount I'm picking from needs to shrink. So how do I? That means I need two. I need two variables. I need a value. I'm just gonna call it value to move to. I don't know what better name to use right now. So this one. I don't gotta worry about this right now. This is the value to move to the back. Value to move to the front equals array 100 minus I. Oh wait, actually, yeah. Oh wait, but the 100th index doesn't exist. Minus I minus 1? $98, $99. Yeah. So then I need to copy. So they need to switch places. So array equals value to move to back. This is the value to move to the front. So that I move to the back. Oh, I need another int for random number. Random number equals random number equals random shared dot next. Minus I. Random number. Oh, yeah, move front. Move to back. And then array random number equals I move to front. Okay, so then this is pick a random element in the array. Move that random element to the back. Let's leave these notes in. Return array? I mean, maybe, I don't know, I think that's it. I think that'll shuffle it. Eventually I will be 99, then it will end. And if it's 99, 100 minus 99 is 1. 0 to 1. Ooh, wait, that's a problem. Wait, I feel like, no, it's exclusive. So what does that mean? Wait, when it hits 99, I want it to end, so 100 minus 99. Oh, wait, what? Is 1. So it'd be 0, 1. So it only generates 0. Okay, that's correct. And then array random number 0, 0. Array 100 minus 0. Value to move to front will be 100 minus 99 minus 1, so it's 0. Value to move to front. Because this is the last element, so 0. 0 for a random number equals value. Back, value to move to front. 100 minus 99 minus 1, 0. I don't know, I think this will work. I can't think of why it wouldn't. So I guess now I can just go back into main and like 100 prisoners. Prisoners? Console.write line. No. No, console.write line. Prisoners. Dots. Oh wait, can I not use shuffle because I didn't make it an actual public? There's a shuffle. Oh, I guess I have to do a quick thing and loop through all of them. Like, fold right array. For
Bans 029P säger, hvordan går kodningen?
okay, so then. Oh, hi, Fancy. Stick of feet, Moski?
Bans 029P säger, kul
I want to
moske.
start at. I'm gonna start at 0. I is less than 100. I plus plus. Then cancel that right line. Int. Array I.
Bans 029P säger, jeg fatter bare minus av det selv.
Prisoners dot right array. Prisoners dot shuffle. I'm changing the name of this. Make shuffled array. Argument 1 cannot convert from void to bool. What?
Rewinds ett säger, what happened?
I don't know! Yeah, couldn't risk it because there's there. I don't know what happened. It just doesn't want to take this. Like I want to.
Bons 029p säger, it
This-
looks like gibberish to me all that coding.
Right array takes an argument of an int array. Prisoners dot make shuffled array makes an int array. So I don't see why this. What's wrong with this? It's like it should take it. It should take it, and then it should do the thing it wanted to do, and then write out all the numbers of the array, so I can make sure it's doing its job. It is gibberish. That's why it looks like gibberish. It is. It is.
Rewinds ett
It's
säger,
nonsense.
what does right array look like?
Especially because it doesn't work. Because it. Right away looks like. There's probably something wrong with right away. But like, it just takes an array and then it, writes the line. It writes all the elements of the array. It's simple. I just wanted to write the values in each of the for each of the elements. Oh my god! Oh my god! That's the problem. I found it.
Rewinds
I keep
ett
doing
säger,
this thing with the
kommas ner,
commas.
tube
Oh my
semikolon.
god. Oops, that was my fault. But it's still broken. I guess.
Rewinds ett säger, and then in main you don't need to put the console right line. Rewinds ett säger, just call
Oh wait,
right
I did
array.
console.write line? Oh yeah. I forgot to get rid of that. Oops. My bad. Oh, that was the problem. The console.write line. It was also the console.write line was also missing a another parenthesis, so it ended up breaking it. Okay, this all makes sense. Do these look shuffled? This looks shuffled.
Centralikan säger, what
There's
do they
100.
miss?
Let's count them all. This is actually horrible. I can't believe it. No, actually no. I don't want to count them all. I don't want to.
Rewinds ett
Where's
säger,
element
at
0? Let's find
Centralikan
element 0.
everything, we solved world
No, wait,
100.
no. It starts at 1. I made it start at the count of 1,
Rewinds
so it should.
hunger asterisk
We have
asterisk.
100s, and we need to make sure there's no value greater than 1. This looks shuffled.
Centralikan säger, I'm hungry.
There needs to be no value greater than 100 in this list. There's 99.
Bons
There's 1.
029p säger, och welcome bara in for att Siga Heimen vill hoppa i
I think it works. I think I did it. I think I did the Fisher Yates shuffle. Which is step 1 of this problem, which is like shuffling an array. So, which I could have done with library code and made my life so much easier if I could suggest it.
Right array?
Right array just writes the array to the console. Like, it writes every single element to the console. That's literally it. I just wrote it so that it would do that. So I could easily check my arrays. But yeah, this looks right. This is pretty random. I don't see a value lower than 0. I don't see a value higher than 100. And everything is being adjusted by like
extension method or SM.
I guess not, because I gave it public so I could access it. I wanted to be able to access it from the main method. So I guess it's just a public.
Revinset säger att Centrally kan
It's
custom
just
build.
it's just a public method that's not static, a non-static method. And yeah, and I made it really quickly inside of my prisoner class. Close this. I think this is working. I think it's good. I'll run it one more time, but I think I did it. It doesn't really line up perfectly with the codes. I'm happy with this. Yay, I'm very happy with this. Yeah, sorry guys that I sometimes get so confused over like basic
Centrally kan
topics. Like
säger
I get so
oeasy.
confused sometimes. But I think I have a decent good enough understanding now of the whole static things inside of non-static things, and then you
Centrally
access
kan
them
säger
in a
notan
static way.
extension method.
I think that makes sense.
Rewinset säger you're good, that's how you figure it out.
Because it's so patient, because you know sometimes you have to explain the same thing like 1,000 times, and I'm like, oh, I don't get it. What's wrong with this? Not all code paths return or value. Oh, my return. Oops. Hehe. Okay, I'll run this again. Oh, and there's build errors. What just happened? I run it again, and maybe okay, there's still build errors. I think I just broke something because I screwed up my comments or something. Oh my god, this is not. It should not be in the for loop. That's why.
Rewinset säger did you
Jesus.
add the return array back?
No, I just. This should go there. The array needs to get returned at the end, not. It's not supposed to return 100 times. And I don't think C# liked that either. There we go. This looks shuffled. We see random small numbers, random big numbers. There's. I need to go locate 100. There's 100. And there's 1. So now I can use my make shuffled array method to assign it to the drawers. So each drawer is now going to have a random number inside, so I'll be able to play the prisoner game. Yay. Honestly, I'm happy with this being the end of coding for today. I did things with code more than just change the string, and took the first step to like setting this problem up. And it shouldn't have taken this long, but it did. It did. Yay.
Rewinset säger changing string and setting bool to true is kinda hard id.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. It was hard. Well, you know what? I think I've done a good job streaming today. I think I'm going to reward myself by by heading off to play some Left 4 Dead. You want to play? Well, maybe I should ask Legion if Legion wants to play. Left 4 Dead right now. But do you want to play Left 4 Dead? Rewind. Do you want to play Left 4 Dead, Legion? Are you in the stream? I'm about to send DM if you're not.
Rewinset säger GG. Rewinset säger I can sure.
Oh, cool. Okay, I was thinking of I actually finished the game with Legion, so I was thinking of installing a custom map, and we're gonna try playing some like community made things. And okay, there's one map. This is really cool, but there is one map that the developers actually made. It's an unfinished campaign. That's why it was never released in the game, but the files got mined or something or shared, essentially. So the first some of the levels within this campaign that never got added to the game officially are actually working. So we're gonna play some of the missing levels, and that sounds fun. And then after that, then we'll try the community maps. So if you'd like to do that, I think that's a fun. And yeah, it's called Damn It is its name, and it's a pun because you're fighting on a dam.
Rewinset säger okay, give me 5 gotta finish something and then swap to other P.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, and I'll meet you in the stream chat, the voice chat. Then yay! Thank you, everybody. Thanks for helping me. Awesome. Thank you to Corrupt. This was fun. This was kind of hard, and I got stuck multiple times, but I actually did have fun. So yeah. All right. See you soon.